हेलो, आवाज मेरी
मॉर्निंग
सुनाई दे रही है? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So now we will start the class. In the previous class, what we have studied? We have studied the efferent division of the autonomic nervous system, that is sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. General concept of its structural organization as well as functional organization. What are the different functions of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system on the different visceral organs? So that this portion we have completed. Now we will start today. We will start the neurotransmission. So what do you understand by the neurotransmission? Anyone? न्यूरोट्रांसमिशन से आप क्या समझते हैं?
Transmission of impulse from one neuron to another neuron.
Yes, neurotransmission means transmission of the impulse. Impulse means nerve impulse from one part of the neurons to the other part, or one part of the nervous system to the other part or the effector organs. So this is the neurotransmission. Nerve impulse. What is the nerve impulse? Nerve impulse is the nerve impulse. What is the nerve impulse? Nerve impulse is the action potential. Action potential generated on the neuron or nerve fiber is the nerve impulse, and it is information is transferred from the central nervous system to the peripheral parts of the body, or effector organs, or visceral and skeletal muscle, different parts of the body. Information are carried from the commands, or information are carried from the central nervous system to the peripheral part of the body in the form of nerve impulse or the action potential. So this is the neurotransmission. Now what is the this neurotransmission consists of two steps. Neurotransmission consists of two steps. What these steps? What are these steps? First is the conduction, and second is the neurohumoral transmission or junctional transmission. Conduction. What is conduction? Conduction is the transmission of nerve impulse, or action potential along the nerve fiber or muscle fiber. Muscle may be muscle fiber, may be a skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, or a smooth muscle. So what is the conduction? Conduction is the movement or transfer of nerve impulse, movement of the nerve impulse along the nerve fiber or muscle fiber. So this is the conduction. Now what is the transmission, or what is the neurohumoral transmission? Neurohumoral transmission is the transfer of nerve impulse from one neuron to the another neuron, or this is from one neuron to the other neuron, that is at the synapse, or from neurons to the effector organs. Effector organs may be any organs supplied by that very neurons. So this is the junctional transmission. Refers to the passage of impulse across the synapse or neuroeffector junction. A neuroeffector junction, it may be the neuroeffector junction between the neurons and the skeletal muscle. Mute yourself. Background sounds are coming, so please cover it. Now, transmission. Now,
राजीव म्यूट कर लो भाई.
so conduction and transmission, all you have understood. In whatever drug we are going to study in the central nervous, we are going to study in the autonomic nervous system. That is the drug acting on the autonomic nervous system. Drugs are very less intoxicants or poisons acts inhibits the axonal conduction or conduction, affects the conduction process. But most of the whatever we will study in the will affect the neurohumoral transmission. So different states of neurohumoral transmission we will discuss in the next class. That is the junctional transmission. So these are very important, and different drugs acts on these transmitters, these states. Except local local anesthetic is the one exception which affects the axonal conduction or acts by blocking the axonal conduction. You will study about the local anesthetic in the CNS pharmacology. In that very portion, you will study that local anesthetic acts by blocking the voltage gated sodium channel that are present on the nerve fiber, and by blocking this, it inhibits the axonal conduction. But most of the drug affects the synaptic transmission or neurohumoral transmission or junctional transmission. So this point you must remember, that most of the drug affects the or acts by affecting the junctional transmission or neurohumoral transmission at different level or at different steps of neurohumoral transmission that we will discuss in the coming classes when we will discuss the cholinergic transmission, adrenergic transmission. At that point, we will discuss the different drugs which affects the steps of different steps of adrenergic as well as cholinergic transmission. So coming to the historical aspect. Historical aspect, you will this Langley, Lewandowski and Langley independently observed the similarity between the effect of stimulation of sympathetic nerve and the injection of extract of adrenal medulla. मतलब पहले ये नहीं पता था कि जो एक chemical substance is involved in the transmission of nerve impulse at where at the junction, at the synapse as well as at the neuroeffector junction. ये पहले नहीं पता था, तो ये कैसे पता चला? Different scientist के work से ये different scientist ने इसको conclude किया कि at the neuroeffector junction or at the synapse, transmission of nerve impulse occurs with the help of a chemical substance, and that then he named this process as a neurohumoral transmission, because humoral means chemical. So यहाँ पे लिवेंडोवस्की एंड लैंगले साइंटिस्ट थे, उन्होंने इंडिपेंडेंटली इस फैक्ट को ऑब्जर्व किया दैट जैसे सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम को स्टिमुलेट करते हैं और जो फार्माकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट और जो इफेक्ट दिखता है, द सेम इफेक्ट इज ऑब्जर्व्ड व्हेन वी इंजेक्ट द एक्सट्रैक्ट ऑफ एड्रिनल मेडुला. So extract of adrenal medulla obviously have some chemical substance. So this chemical substance produces the same effect as the stimulation of sympathetic nerve. It means they assumed that, or this concept is visualized that that sympathetic stimulation of sympathetic nerve releases some chemical substance. Now, again, another scientist, this is the T.R. Elliott, in 1905, extended this study and postulated that sympathetic nerve terminal release minute, इन्होंने इसी स्टडी को फर्दर आगे बढ़ाया और इस पोस्टुलेट किया है इस बात को कि sympathetic nerve terminal release minute amount of epinephrine like substance in immediate vicinity of the effector cell. According to T.R. Elliott, he postulated that the sympathetic nerve terminal releases epinephrine-like substance in the vicinity of effector cell at the new effector junction. So he postulated a chemical step in the process of neurotransmission. Now, but later on, another scientist, von Euler, he established that this neurotransmitter at the sympathetic neuroeffector junction is norepinephrine. So again, another scientist, Langley, in 1905 suggested that the effector cells have the excitatory and inhibitory receptive substances, and response to the epinephrine depends on which type of receptive substances is present. Here, what is this receptive substance? Now it is established this receptive substance is the receptor. In the previous class, I discussed a little bit about the receptor of the adrenergic and cholinergic fibers. In that adrenergic or sympathetic nervous system, adrenergic receptors are alpha and beta, whereas this cholinergic receptors are this muscarinic and nicotinic receptors. Adrenergic receptor means the receptor which binds the norepinephrine or epinephrine. So this is the adrenergic receptor. And cholinergic receptor means the receptor which binds the acetylcholine. So Langley suggested this that adrenaline, there are some excitatory and inhibitory receptor. This receptor may be of excitatory nature or inhibitory nature. Say for example, blood vessels have both alpha and beta receptor. Norepinephrine have two type of receptor, alpha and beta. So these alpha and beta receptor both binds with the norepinephrine. But this in blood vessel, alpha and beta are present. But when norepinephrine binds with the blood vessel, a smooth muscle. In a smooth muscle of blood vessel, alpha and beta, alpha 1 and beta 2 receptor are present. When norepinephrine binds with the alpha 1 receptor, it leads to contraction of the smooth muscle of blood vessel. Whereas when it binds with the beta 2 receptor, it causes the relaxation of the smooth muscle of the blood vessel. So the same neurotransmitters, by acting on different receptive substances, is the receptor. By acting on different kinds of or types of receptor, may produce different effects. Like norepinephrine, when binds with the alpha receptor present in the blood vessel of smooth muscle of the blood vessel, it causes the contraction. When it binds with the beta receptor present in the blood vessel, it causes the relaxation. So here you can understand by this example, this statement, Langley suggested that effector cells have excitatory and inhibitory receptive substances, and response to epinephrine depends which type of receptive substances is present there. Okay, so it depends on the type of receptor with which the neurohumoral transmitter binds. So effect depends on the type of receptor with which neurotransmitter substance binds. Now coming to the next slide, this again, this is the historical aspect. Dixon in 1907 concluded from his study that effect of muscarine is a substance, muscarine that effect of muscarine that vagus nerve liberate a muscarine like डिक्सन जो है उन्होंने मस्करीन एक सब्सटेंस है, दिस इज लिबरेटेड फ्रॉम अमेरिका मस्करीनिया. So from which it is a fungus from which muscarine is derived, and he studied on this muscarine substance, and he observed that this vagus is muscarine pharmacological effect of muscarine is similar to the stimulation of vagus nerve. Vagus nerve, यानी कि it has the parasympathetomimetic effect. So again in the latter year, Reed and Hunt described the action of acetylcholine and other cholinesters. So now Dale is the scientist in 1914 thoroughly investigated the pharmacological property of acetylcholine along with other esters of choline and distinguished its nicotine-like and muscarine-like action. Acetylcholine, again, acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter of parasympathetic nervous system. So Dale ने ये पता लगाया और उन्होंने अपने स्टडी से ये उनकी फाइंडिंग हुई कि एसिटाइलकोलिन का दो तरह का एक्शन होता है, निकोटिनिक एंड मस्करिनिक रिसेप्टर. निकोटिन इज a chemical substance. So whatever the pharmacological effect is produced by nicotine and muscarine, this both effect is produced by acetylcholine. So it has two type of effect, nicotinic effect and muscarinic effect. Again, these two effect is dependent on the receptor on which it binds. Acetylcholine has two type of receptor, nicotinic receptor and muscarinic receptor. So when it will bind with the muscarinic receptor, it produces the muscarine-like effect. When it binds with the nicotinic or receptor or stimulate it will produce nicotine-like effect, because nicotine is the substance which only bind with the nicotinic receptor, whereas muscarine is a substance or chemical substance. This is the xenobiotic. So when it binds, it only binds with the muscarinic receptor of the acetylcholine, and it produces muscarinic type of effect. Nicotine is the substance which binds with the nicotinic receptor, and it has the nicotinic effect. These all things you will understand better, and you will all learn in the later classes when we will discuss the cholinergic transmission, adrenergic transmission. Then all things will be clear to all of you. So coming to the next slide. This is the historical aspect. Again, this is the most important experiment in the pharmacology that is done by Otto Loewi in 1912. It is usually asked in the examination also that he provided the first direct evidence for the chemical mediation of the nerve impulse, he provided the first direct evidence. Experimentally, he proved that there is a neurohumoral transmission at the junction or at the synapse or at the neuroeffector junction. He proved experimentally. Very good experiment was this. Here you can see in the this picture diagram that he for two frog heart he took, and he stimulated from two frog, and he first heart he stimulated vagus nerve was stimulated, and then this recording was done. And now this perfusate of this liquid in which this heart was kept, that this perfusate fluid was transferred to the another frog's heart, and without its electrical stimulation, without the stimulation of the vagus nerve of this heart, another second heart, after some time this heart also started the this effect was also observed on second heart. What effect? The heart rate will be decreased. Here in the first heart, there was he stimulated the first heart. He stimulated the vagus nerve of the first heart. तो वैगस नर्व क्या होता है? वैगस नर्व जो है वो पाराफेज सिंपैथेटिक फाइबर्स को कैरी करता है. सो वैगस नर्व को जब स्टिमुलेट करते हैं तो ये पारासिम्पैथेटिक यहाँ पे फाइबर्स स्टिमुलेट होता है. पारासिम्पैथेटिक पोस्ट गैंग्लियोनिक फाइबर यहाँ स्टिमुलेट होगा. सो पोस्ट गैंग्लियोनिक फाइबर जब स्टिमुलेट होगा तो क्या होगा? यहाँ न्यूरो इफेक्टर जंक्शन पे एसिटाइलकोलिन रिलीज होगा and then this acetylcholine, what is the effect of acetylcholine, or what is the effect of stimulation of parasympathetic fibers on the heart? In the previous class I had discussed that what is the effect of parasympathetic stimulation on the heart. Please anyone?
It decreases
Heart
the
rate decrease
contraction
कर.
and
Decrease.
So heart rate will decrease. So when electrically, their stimulation is electrical. So when he stimulated the vagus nerve of supplying this heart electrically, then this heart rate will be decreased because of the stimulation of parasympathetic fibers supplying this heart. But this now again, this fluid in which the heart was kept, this fluid was transferred to the another heart or another vessels in which heart was kept. After some times, without any stimulation, electrical stimulation of this heart, he observed that the heart rate of this heart, second heart, was also slowed as that of first heart. So he concluded that stimulation of this nerve fiber or stimulation of parasympathetic fiber here releases some chemical which causes the contraction of heart in the first heart, and these chemicals comes in this perfusate fluid, and when this fluid is transferred to the another heart, then without any electrical stimulation, this chemical causes the decrease in the heart rate of the second heart. So from this he concluded that when we stimulate, or when this a chemical substance is liberated when we stimulate the nerve fiber, a chemical substance is liberated at the neuroeffector junction, which is responsible for the transmission of nerve impulse from the neurons or nerve fibers to the effector organ. So this substance he named as vagus stop. So, but after some time, this in 1926, Lowy and Navratil presented evidence to identify it as acetylcholine. So he later on identified this substance, vagus stop, as a acetylcholine. So he concluded that this acetylcholine act as a neurohumoral or chemical agent which causes the transmission of nerve impulse at the neuroeffector junction. Again, in von Euler, as a scientist, in 1946, he concluded that the sympathetic transmitter at the neuroeffector junction is noradrenaline. So this is all about the historical aspect. Now coming to the criteria or evidence of being a neurohumoral transmitter. What is the criteria? कोई केमिकल को हम कैसे बोलेंगे कि this is a neurohumoral transmitter? तो उसके लिए क्या होना चाहिए? पहला, it should be synthesized and it should be present and synthesized in the presynaptic neurons. ठीक है, इसको to be a neurohumoral transmitter it should be present in the presynaptic neuron. ठीक है, whether it may be presynaptic, whether it may be preganglionic fibers. So the chemical substance should be present in the preganglionic fibers or postganglionic fibers as it should be present, and it should be synthesized there. So enzyme synthesizing this neurotransmitter should be present. Then what is the other criteria? When this nerve fiber is stimulated, this substance must be released in the medium. So this is the second criteria. Now third, what is the third criteria? Now when this substance is administered to the animal, the same effect should be produced as the stimulation of that nerve fiber. Now the last criteria is that the effect of this neurotransmitter should be antagonized or potentiated by other substance which similarly alter the effect of nerve. जैसे इसका कोई एंटागोनिस्ट भी होना चाहिए और एंटागोनिस्ट और एगोनिस्ट होना चाहिए जो कि उसके इफेक्ट को एंटागोनाइज कर सके या पोटेंशिएट कर सके. So these are the criteria for being a neurohumoral transmitter. Now coming to the next slide. कोई स्टूडेंट जो है वो अटेंडेंस का प्लीज स्नैप लेके मेरे व्हाट्सएप नंबर पे, पर्सनल व्हाट्सएप नंबर पे भेज देना. पिछले क्लास का नहीं भेजा था, मैंने बोला था. तो इसका कोई भी स्टूडेंट, एक स्टूडेंट इसका स्नैप लेके अटेंडेंस का मेरे व्हाट्सएप नंबर पे भेज दोगे. नाउ कमिंग टू द ये और टाइम अभी खत्म हो जाएगा 10 मिनट में, तो तुम लोग इसी आईडी से फिर से ज्वाइन करोगे, इस टॉपिक को खत्म करेंगे. ठीक है, तो नाउ इवेंट्स इन्वॉल्व इन द न्यूरो ट्रांसमिशन. न्यूरो ट्रांसमिशन में क्या क्या इवेंट्स इन्वॉल्व है बता चुके हैं. एक्सोनल कंडक्शन एंड जंक्शनल ट्रांसमिशन. क्या होगा? एक्सोनल कंडक्शन एंड जंक्शनल ट्रांसमिशन. जैसे कि यहाँ देखो, ये एग्जांपल इसमें देख लो. इस जैसे डायग्रामेटिकली ऐसे समझ सकते हैं कि इसमें दो न्यूरोट्रांसमिशन, दो इवेंट्स इसमें होते हैं. कंडक्शन, जैसे कि यहाँ देखो प्री गैंग्लियोनिक फाइबर. इफ दिस इज द इफरेंट डिवीजन ऑफ द ऑटोनोमिक नर्वस सिस्टम. दिस फिगर शोज द इफरेंट डिवीजन ऑफ ऑटोनोमिक नर्वस सिस्टम. तो जब यहाँ इस सेल बॉडी से जो कि दैट इज लोकेटेड इन द सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम, आइदर इन द स्पाइनल कॉर्ड और इन द ब्रेन, तो इस सेल बॉडी से जब इंफॉर्मेशन ट्रांसफर होगा इन द फॉर्म ऑफ नर्व इंपल्स. And what is the nerve impulse? Nerve impulse is the action potential. So जब यहाँ इस फाइबर पे दिस एक्सॉन फ्रॉम यहाँ पे जब ये मूवमेंट होगा एक्शन पोटेंशियल का अप टू दिस पॉइंट, अप टू दिस टर्मिनल, नर्व टर्मिनल, so this transmission is called conduction. And now when it comes at the junction, either at the synapse or at the this neuroeffector junction. This is the neuroeffector junction. Why it is called neuroeffector junction? Because this is the effector organ and this is the postganglionic fiber. So when postganglionic fiber junction between the postganglionic fiber up and effector organ is called neuroeffector junction. So यहाँ पे again when impulse comes at the ganglia between the terminal of the preganglionic fiber and the cell body of the postganglionic fiber, how the impulse is transmitted? With the help of a chemical substance, that is the neurotransmitter. So यहाँ this is the autonomic ganglia is the site of neurotransmission. तो यहाँ पे तो फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या हुआ, यहाँ पे कंडक्शन हुआ एंड देन सेकेंड जंक्शन पे साइनेप्स थे, यहाँ पे न्यूरोह्यूमरल ट्रांसमिशन हुआ विद द हेल्प ऑफ केमिकल सब्सटेंस। यहाँ से केमिकल रिलीज होगा। न्यूरोह्यूमरल ट्रांसमिशन हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में जो एज एक्सोनल कंडक्शन बताएंगे और न्यूरोह्यूमरल ट्रांसमिशन में क्या क्या स्टेप्स होता है, कैसे रिलीज होता है, कहाँ पे बाइंड करता है, फिर बाइंड करने के बाद क्या इवेंट होता है, ये सारी बातें कल के क्लास में डिस्कस करेंगे। आज एक्सोनल कंडक्शन का मैकेनिज्म पढ़ेंगे कि क्या कैसे एक्सोनल कंडक्शन होता है। सो तुम लोग फिर से इसी आईडी पे ज्वाइन करोगे और प्लीज कोई भी एक अटेंडेंस का स्नैप लेके मेरे को भेज देना व्हाट्सएप, मेरे पर्सनल व्हाट्सएप पे। सो यहाँ पे ये हुआ तुम्हारा न्यूरोह्यूमरल ट्रांसमिशन। नाउ अगेन पोस्ट, दिस इज द ट्रांसमिशन बिटवीन प्री गैंग्लियोनिक फाइबर एंड पोस्ट गैंग्लियोनिक फाइबर एट वेयर एट द गैंग्लिया। सो देयर इज ए न्यूरोह्यूमरल ट्रांसमिशन। नाउ अगेन यहाँ पे दिस पोस्ट गैंग्लियोनिक फाइबर में अगेन दिस in nerve impulse is transmitted on the postganglionic fiber by the process of conduction, and when it comes at the junction or when it comes at the organ supplied by this nerve fiber. So how this again information is transferred from this postganglionic fiber to the effector organ with the help of neurohumoral transmission. Here again chemical substance is released in the sympathetic nervous system. This neurohumoral transmitter is the norepinephrine, whereas in the parasympathetic nervous system here this neurohumoral agent is the acetylcholine. And at the ganglia in the sympathetic as well as parasympathetic nervous system, this neurohumoral transmitter is the acetylcholine in the sympathetic as well as parasympathetic nervous system. This transmission, neurotransmission, consists of two steps: conduction and junctional transmission or neurohumoral transmission. So coming to this slide, events involved in the neurohumoral transmission, axonal conduction and junctional transmission. Now the junctional transmission again consists of different steps that I will discuss in the next class, in which there is a storage and release of transmitter, combination of transmitters with the post-junctional receptor and production of post-junctional potential, initiation of post-junctional activity, and in last destruction and dissipation of the transmitters. So these steps we will understand in the next class. So coming to the axonal conduction, first is the axonal conduction. So axonal conduction में हम बता चुके हैं क्या होता है कंडक्शन. इट इज द ट्रांसफर ऑफ नर्व इम्पल्स और एक्शन पोटेंशियल अलोंग द नर्व फाइबर और मसल फाइबर. सो व्हाट इज द एक्शन पोटेंशियल? एक्शन पोटेंशियल क्या होता है? एक्शन पोटेंशियल क्या होता है? कोई भी एक्साइटेबल जो सेल है, एक्साइटेबल सेल क्या होता है बॉडी में? व्हाट आर डिफरेंट एक्साइटेबल सेल्स इन द बॉडी? Anyone? Hello? What are different excitable cells in the body? Excitable cells in the body, सबसे पहले तो जो वैसा सेल जिसको हम जिसमें हम एक्शन पोटेंशियल और जनरेट कर सके, that is the excitable cells. Excitable cells क्या होता है? Neurons and muscle fibers. Neurons and muscle fibers, these are the excitable in nature. And तो उसमें क्या होता है कि इसका जो सेल होता है यूजुअली remains in the resting stage. When there is no transmission of action potential, the cell remains, neurons or as well as muscle fiber remains in the resting stage. What is the resting stage? Resting stage is the negative charge inside the cell, whereas the positive charge outside the cell. This is the this is the called resting membrane potential. Usually in the mammalian cells, resting membrane potential is minus 70 millivolt, but there is some difference. This resting potential, there is a difference in the literature. Somewhere in some book there it is mentioned as minus 85 millivolt. In some in Goodman-Gilman this is mentioned as minus 70 millivolt. But this resting membrane potential is the potential of the membrane potential of the neurons or muscle fiber in the resting stage. So is the this when there is a change in this resting membrane potential or reversal of resting membrane potential is the action potential. And action potential or nerve impulse reflects a reversal of polarization state present at rest. That is, what is the polarization state in the resting state of the neurons? That's negative inside and positive outside, and is the result of permeability change that occur at the axonal surface as an impulse is propagated along the nerve fiber. इसमें जब रेस्टिंग स्टेज में रहता है न्यूरॉन्स तो उसकी मतलब जो चार्जेस होते हैं वो पॉजिटिव बाहर ज्यादा होता है एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर स्पेस में और इंट्रा सेलुलर में नेगेटिविटी ज्यादा होती है. सो दिस इज द रेस्टिंग स्टेज. और जब